Today I'm going to show what happens when you fail to follow your own advice and you don't properly prune your tomatoes in the early part of the season and they get out of control. I am going to try to rein them in a little bit today. Because I'm going to have to support a lot of weight, I'm going to use this rapid clip foam covered wire. I can cut it to length and it's going to help give a soft space to kind of cradle my plants. I could also use this stretch tie, which is like the green tape a lot of people use, but that's really better used when you are pruning early in the season and you're just trying to support branches and stuff as you are adhering them to your cages or up a stake. We're past that point. So I'm taking my foam wire and I have kind of lifted up my branches to support them so they're not on the ground and crushing the plants in front of them. Also not on the ground with the opportunity for bugs and disease to get on them. So literally just lifting them up off the ground and supporting them. So I'm next going to go down underneath after I've supported the upper branches and get rid of some of the excess growth. Now I do have fruit on some of these lower branches, but there's just too much going on and I need to cut it back. I always recommend doing this anyway. This time of year is to prune back whatever foliage is just not necessary. And these pieces at the bottom are kind of falling over and broken, so they just need to go or else they're just going to become an energy suck on the plant. So I'll go through, remove all the lower stuff. If I find leaves and branches that aren't supporting any fruiting growth, I'm also going to remove them too. But there's just so much here that is in excess that it's really never going to give the plant the chance to focus where it needs to focus. So now that I've kind of gotten everything supported and pruned up to a basic point, I am trying to find the opportunities that I can to lift my plants away from my other plants. I've got this gorgeous zephyr squash that is almost being collapsed by my tomato plants. And again, this is just plain old neglect. I've had a very busy spring. So now I'm going to try to compensate and make sure that things don't suffer unduly. Here's me forgetting to turn on the camera when I took out my Harvest Supreme the first time to spread it around, but this is what I'm doing. I love Harvest Supreme for this time of year. Just spread it out around the base of your plants. It adds a mulchiness and some nutrition and helps to retain water, especially during these really super hot days. So here we go. We have just lifted my plants up off the ground, supported them in a way. Now that looks kind of sloppy, but I'm just trying to get them up off the dirt, and then I will go through and prune out some more of that foliage that's in excess, but I'll probably wait a couple more weeks to do that and see what sets fruit. So now that we've got our plants mulched and kind of taken care of, I'm just going to call it good and say hi to Mr. Bumblebee. Thanks for joining me.